This is an It Came From GenX video.
GenX technology.
2023.
Hey, where's my kids when you need them? There it is.
Get off his lawn. Darn contraption.
GenX Tech.
My father wouldn't use the microwave because he said, anything cooks food that fast, I don't want it.
It's the devil's work.
I'm like, yeah, but I noticed you're not putting stuff on a fire.
Right.
On the backyard. Anyway.
It's the devil's work.
Swipe left to reveal comments and reactions. There we go. Get Brian's slow ass in there.
Hey,
Dean,
language.
how you doing?
Language.
Are we all in the shot? How's that look?
Yep, I think so. We're good.
Shot's pretty good.
All right, I can't see you.
Okay.
My daughter Ashley's here. Hello, Steeler Jim. Go away.
Hey, Ashley. All right, we ready?
All right, fellas.
Welcome. It is time for It Came From GenX. I am Keith Porter, one of your hosts who loves to boast about the goodness of the Lord, the goodness of great friends, the goodness of family, and we are here today celebrating our 100th episode. And you know what, guys? I was driving around today, and all week long, I'm like, 100 episodes, that's awesome, that's awesome. And I was driving today thinking, what does it mean, 100 episodes? Then I got depressed. We haven't had anything else to do on a Monday but this. Where have our lives gone? Anyway, and if you watch the show, then obviously you have nothing to do either. So we're glad to have you with us. No, I'm just kidding. I am proud to have been with these guys, keeping this show alive, keeping it faithful. 100 episodes crept up on us, and we have had a journey. It's been a lot of fun. We've had our ups, we've had our downs, but it's been really great. So congratulations to you guys, man. It's good to have you. All right, I said I'm Keith Porter. This is your other host, Mr. Michael Skinner, Mr. Brian Fisher, my brothers that don't come from my mother, but my daddy don't know nothing about them either. But anyway, we are three friends from Kenmo High School. That's right, I said Kenmo, here in Akron, Ohio. And we have been friends for over 35 years. And we have been through it all together. Marriages, kids, death, births, everything. And we have stayed friends for all these years. And we got this little show together. We're going to talk about how that all came about. But first, let's say hello to the man, Mr. Michael Skinner.
Hello, hello, hello. Let me clear my throat.
Let me clear my throat. That was a rap song, man.
You were talking about 100 episodes. Think about that for a second. What have we done in our lives for 100?
Eat.
Besides eating. Yeah, besides eating. But no, it's pretty phenomenal. I look forward to Mondays with you two. If anything, it's just for us to get on front of camera and we catch up from the week's events. Yeah. If that's all we do, I'm happy, because there's been times throughout our adult lives where we didn't see each other for weeks and months. Yeah. And we don't do that anymore.
There were some years involved in there, too.
It could have been, yeah. So I'm blessed beyond belief to have you two as brothers. Coach John Cooper as well. He can't be here with us today. But
we'll talk more about Cooper.
He's our fourth
Big
musketeer.
Part of all of this,
Yep, great to be here.
All right, thank you. This is my bestie, Mr. Brian Fisher, right here. Say hello to him, everybody. What's up, Fish?
Hey, man. Like you said, just echo the same sentiments. We did 100 episodes on Convincing Idiots as well with Dean and Nick, and it makes you reflect.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's, when there's plenty of podcasts out there that don't get to 100.
No.
And you think about that 100, sometimes you may not think that that's a lot, but if you do one a week, you're talking it's about a couple years.
Pretty amazing.
Of virtually every week we take time and do this. So like you say, if anything comes out of this besides the fact we got it reconnected,
yes, we did.
It's a beautiful thing.
And we value this. We value our time together. And you wouldn't even want to talk about impressive. Fish was alluding to how 100 shows, all we went through. But Convincing Idiots, those are our brothers on another show that he's part of. They well past 100. So that's over 200 shows that this man has done.
Yeah.
That's dedication. Not to mention the work he does, the production, which is outstanding on our videos. So Just absolutely amazing. So,
Thank you, bro.
comments are starting to pour in. We're going to read some comments here in a minute. But we want to tell you quickly how all this came about. We get asked that a lot. About 6-7 years ago, every time I would watch football with somebody, I just kind of would say what's going to happen before it happened. And people would say, Keith, you should get your own football show. And I would say, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And every year football would come and go, and I never did it. So after a couple of years, I'm starting seeing how everybody was just doing their own thing and putting it on the internet now. It's just becoming common. I said, listen, I just set up a camera, set up a light. I'm just going to do my own football show. You know, I got tired of people being politically correct or, you know, kissing boot and all that other stuff. I'm just going to say how I feel. And I said, I'm going to get John Cooper to be my first guest. And I did. We were in his office. His wife directed it. And we had so much fun. I was like, Coop, you got to do this with me. So we teamed up. We did a bunch of episodes on location. We went to my son, Steele, his dorm, fraternity up in Mount Union. He was our second guest. We had some good friends on after that. My nephew, Raymond Trice. Lots of good people. Pastor Jeffrey Bell. And after that, we were like, you know, we got to get Skinner and Fisher on the show. So we got Skinner on a few weeks into the season. And boy, you were a deer in headlights.
You know, that was pretty funny because I had never done anything like this before. I'm not the musician you are. I'm not in front of cameras very often. I'm outgoing, but I stick to myself. So you guys said, hey, let's do this. And I'm like, okay, great. I get to show off my wonderful basement. I had a wonderful room down there.
Which became our studio.
And then the lights came on, and I'm like, oh, crap.
And I think the Cleveland Browns.
And I go back and look at some of those episodes, and I'm like, man, that's just funny stuff.
Well, you're definitely seasoned now, man. I love being on the show with you.
Yeah, the football show was fantastic. We had a lot of laughs, a lot of spoofs. Probably my favorite one is the Christmas special we did with
definitely mine. We got to talk about that
with
later.
Dinky.
Okay. So a couple weeks later, we got Fish on the show. Did the show right here. It's the very same spot.
Yep.
And how was that experience for you, Fish?
It was fun. It was like, let's tap right there.
Yep.
You started to do the show. I didn't say anything to you, but I'm like, man, when are you going to ask me to be on the show? I wasn't going to say anything. I'm like, oh, we got Skinner on next week. I'm like, I mean, no offense. No, I'm teasing. No, but I'm like, he's going to come around and ask me sooner or later, you know. And then you ask me the next week.
I think the plan
was. You know what it was? We were going to be on at the same time.
Yeah, that was the plan.
I couldn't make it.
You couldn't make it.
I couldn't make it. Then I came on the next week. You said we did it here. And you're right. It's funny. It wasn't a live show.
No,
we just recorded it. But I remember the lights were set up and everything, and you just get that feel of like you're on television or something.
It's different.
That. It was different.
It's different.
So yeah, I definitely remember being nervous and all that initially. But then we quickly. Just being around each other, we just reverted back to the old days of hanging out.
That's what it was like.
And whatnot.
So, just like it happened with Cooper. As soon as we did that show, I was like, Cooper, you guys did the show with me. As soon as we had you guys on, Cooper and I was like, we got to ask them to get on the show with us.
Yeah.
And so the four of us moved into his man cave. We had a great season, some of the most fun we've ever had. My uncle, the great Sam Moore, legendary vocalist, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. He was on the show via phone. We had some special guests show up. It was great. Then what happened, football season was over. The show was called Reality Football. We took the time off. Summer came around, and we said, hey, let's meet and see if we're going to do another show. Well, I got a phone call from a man by the name of Gustavus Dominic, who was doing programming at a radio station, WMBU.org, and said, hey, love your show. We want to put it on the air. And we were like, what? We met with him. Next thing you know, we're on every Monday night, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock on WMBU. The next year we were on the radio. They moved us in the radio station. We did the show there, the live video show there. And it was great. One of our best guests we had was Des the Reason, Canton's own Des the Reason, outstanding rapper. He's on his way to being a mogul, an entertainment mogul. And COVID happened.
Yep,
it did.
Killed everything. And Fish said, no. We're going to figure out how to do this from our homes. And that's what we did. that football season ended, and we didn't want to lose that radio spot. And Fish said, "Hey, you know what? I got an idea for a new show called It Came from GenX." He pitched it to Christabas, and here we are with our 100th episode. So,
Right.
Coach John Cooper is not with us. His obligations, he had to quit after the football show, but he's a big part of all of this. So that's our little history real quick. We don't want to go into that too more. We got some comments we want to read.
Yep.
Some good people watching.
I'm
What do you
looking
got?
to hear Dean Harvey said he stumbled upon a AARP commercial.
Dean Harvey from Convincing Idiots.
Convincing Idiots.
You did not lie. I got my AARP membership at the house. I haven't filled it out yet, Dean.
You watch this episode tonight, you like and subscribe, you might win a free tote.
You just
there
might.
you go.
Quick joke. Before the show started, Fisher said, "If you gotta go to the bathroom, go now, gentlemen." I said, "Don't worry about me. I got a bag." Just make sure your camera doesn't pick it up.
So special hello to my grandson Aiden. He said, "What? Please tell Marcy, my better half." Said Papa Mike. Aiden says hello, and Uncle Keith and Uncle Brian.
Hey, what's going on, nephew? Much love.
Jim Herchek, go away. We don't care about the Steelers.
Hey.
Miss Pamela Porter, hello to you.
My sister, who used to watch the show faithfully, she kind of trailed off, but no, she's a big supporter of the show.
Yes.
Thank you, Pam. We love you. I appreciate your support.
My neighbor Rachel, my son-in-law Dylan, my
you, Rachel.
daughter Ashley with all the babies.
Hey, don't be skipping over my girl there, Marcy.
I did say my better half
Marcella
was on
Farson.
here.
Marcella, Marcy, and Skinner are engaged.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
We are.
Very good.
Guy Bechter says hello.
Wow, my man from Rock Generation and bass player extraordinaire.
And
We are about to blow up Northeast Ohio, baby.
And the lovely Allie is watching.
Oh, definitely. Hi, Allie. She's such a doll. She was such an angel the other day. She was such a big help to my sister. Pam was just elated with her.
Right.
Yeah, she's
Call her
awesome.
my angel on earth.
Yeah, she really is. Wow. Ugh. So the show's about we do news, sports and music, and pop culture through the eyes of Gen Xers. We kind of make fun of millennials sometimes. Sometimes we just do comparison to how things are compared to how they used to be. So it ends up being informative. It ends up being funny. It ends up being a little controversial. We don't always agree, but we always respect one another. And we've had some pretty interesting stories.
We've had quite a few, that's for sure.
Yeah, so we talked about some of our favorite stories that we've covered. Some things that kind of become legendary on the show, like the Skinner rant. There's some things that just rub him the wrong way throughout.
No.
Yeah, a little bit. We got to hit the bleep button. But, hey, that's Skinner. We've had some interesting stuff, Fish has pointed out, in the pop culture world. And we've had a lot of deaths, celebrity deaths, in the last year or so. So, it's kind of somber, but when you think about it and you realize, man, how old are we when we lose some of these people? We lost Kirstie Alley, who else? I'm just trying to think of something off the top. It's been a lot of people, man, as of late.
There's been quite a few recently, so.
But anyway, that's what the show's all about, and we weren't going to do too many of our stories tonight. We're just going to kind of have a little fun and read some of our comments and take it from there. So we're going to start the show off with Fish telling everybody where they can find the show. So why don't you do that for us, Fish?
Right. Well, tonight, of course, you're watching us. If you're watching us live, you're on our Facebook page. So thank you very much. So it's at ItCameFromGenX. You can listen to us every week on demand wherever you listen to podcasts. So we'll be found on all major podcast platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, Amazon Music, and many more. So wherever you listen to podcasts, just look for the It Came From Gen X podcast. Give us a subscribe or follow. And as we publish new episodes every week, they'll pop into your feed free of charge. You might be watching us also on the Boss Code Media TV network. That's Does the Reasons network that Keith talked about. We have segments up there, so find the Boss Code Media network on your smart TV or portable device. Give it a download and subscribe. You can also watch full episodes and segments on our YouTube channel at It Came From Gen X. If you do anything at all, like, share, follow, subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend. That's how we grow. And if you don't know where to find us, you can't remember anything I just said, look at two main areas. Our Linktree page, just Google Linktree, It Came From Gen X, or our website, ItCameFromGenX.wordpress.com. All show information on both places where you can listen, links to episodes, videos, bios, our merch store, podcast merch store.
Right, we got merch.
Ways to sponsor the show and everything else here. Find some stuff out there with the beautiful logo that my beautiful, talented daughter Peyton designed for us.
Well, let me move my big butt out of the way
Yeah.
here for a minute
Yeah.
so you can see it.
Yeah, so it's out there. So, but thank you. So many of you listen on a regular basis out there. We appreciate your support. We have people listening more globally, which is the truth. We got more viewers and listeners.
We got some overseas
Yeah,
viewers.
Germany,
yes.
Ireland, and maybe some of the same people listen to us on Convincing Idiots too. But anyways, thank you. We appreciate you. And if you're watching us for the first time, checking us out,
And
hope
we
you come back.
apologize.
Yeah, we apologize in advance.
Right.
That's right. And we hope you come back.
Okay, and also you can find us on www.ilovedadbots.com.
There you
Send us
go.
some money. Anyway, you mentioned the merch.
Yep.
So Joelle Ramey mentioned she loved the shirts. Thank you, Joelle. Joelle is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the motherland. And
Well, we forgive her.
I love you. Thank you, Joelle,
Yeah.
being faithful to the show. What? Say something smart.
I'm not saying anything smart.
We won't hold that against her.
So I'm not going to say anything dumb either.
Gosh.
We don't hold that against her, but she is a very good friend of the show.
Yes,
So
she
we
is.
appreciate that.
Yes, she is. All right, Skinner, man. What's on your mind? Take it away, bro.
So you talked about, well, let me put that over here. I'm pimping Westfield Bank. That's who I happen to work for. You talked about eyes from the Gen Xers. And those that see the show or watch the video or see me, I've got different spectacles on now. I've got what you call the old man glasses. I have gone to the bifocal lenses. And it's just one of those, it's really hit me pretty hard. Now, I know Fish's eyes are a hell of a lot worse than mine, but he's had them on for a few years, and I'm not used to that. I've had readers for a couple years, but for the most part, up until I was 45, 48 years old, I had very good vision. I didn't say case no more. So it makes me think where we're at. Where are we at in life? What's making me feel old? And this was a big slap in the face. I'm not going to lie. I've gotten used to it, and I'm getting used to the fact
Can
that
I
I
get
have
some
to have
perspective?
glasses. Yeah, go for it.
Don't let that make you feel old. Babies wear glasses.
I get that. But my sister's worn them since grade school. My mom and dad have always had glasses for as long as I can remember. And I was the lucky one following my grandma who didn't have glasses her entire life till she died at 87.
Right.
So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be like my grandma all this time, and then boom,
Yeah.
the eyes go away.
No,
So-
don't let glasses make you feel old. Maybe the fact that it takes you an hour to poop, that makes you make
Yeah.
you feel old.
So-
but not the glasses.
So my question to you guys is, what have you felt recently, or what have you witnessed or experienced recently that makes you go, damn, I'm kind of getting old?
Wow, good question. Fish, you want to take that first?
Well, sounds like three old men talking here. I guess that's what we are. But it's
They were on my lawn!
yeah. Honestly, it aches in pain. Normally,
Yeah.
it aches in pain. You wake up in the morning, it's like your body says, your brain rather says good morning, and your body's like, you want to play Why Am I Sore Today? You get sore from sleeping and this and that. So I'm definitely more stiff than I normally was, just from a physical condition change. You know what I'm saying? So I don't remember the last day that I really felt like I have nothing stiff, nothing sore, nothing achy. I feel completely wide awake and refreshed. Been a very long time.
I can totally agree with that. I told my sister the other night, I don't remember the last time I slept for 8 hours, or even 6 for that matter. And the pain thing I can agree with. But I'm going to give you another one. You know what makes me feel old? My nieces and nephews.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
My nephew Donovan comes over, and I just look at him and the energy level, and he just doesn't quit. And I just marveled at it, and I was like, wow, youth is such an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And such a precious thing. They always say youth is wasted on the young. You think you're Superman when you're young. You can do all these things, and then your mindset has to change when you're older. Like, I got to time things out right. I got to say, hey, I can't do this. That's too much. And you don't have that abundant energy anymore. So I think that gets me the most. Just watching my little nieces and nephews with just inexhaustible energy. So But we're here, so we're blessed, and we're going to make the most of it. Ashley, Renee, I love you. Thank you, sweetheart.
Speaking of Donovan, right there, he's saying hello.
Ah, that's my niece,
His uncle,
Devon
buddy.
Joy, or China as I call her. I love you. Devon is so awesome. She is such a big help. She is funny. She's a tough girl. She's a smart business lady. She is the mother of my little nephew, Donovan. You see me post a lot of videos with Donovan. So I just want to say thank you, Devon Joy. And
So real quick, you talk about youth. I have the grandkids at the house.
yeah, 40.
And my goodness, the 1-year-old has gotten so quick that I go to grab her or try to, and that little stinker is able to get away from me at 1 year old already. So, yeah, no, my grandkids are saying goodnight to everybody. They have to get ready for school tomorrow.
That's right.
So
Get to bed,
you're
kids.
still watching Goodnight Kids.
What did Dean
And
say about going to the bathroom?
Dean
We're
is-
not wearing diapers,
Oh, where did Dean go? Why was Brian so concerned with using the restroom before the show started? Aren't you guys wearing diapers?
Dean. No.
Wait till they go live on their next
yeah.
podcast. Yeah.
Remember this, Dean. Okay. Okay, so Fish, you do a lot of great pop culture stuff for us, and we've covered everything. Your pop culture kind of dips into my area of music sometimes, even.
Yeah.
And we've had some pretty amazing stories. A lot of things have happened just in the last few months that have been controversial. We have this ongoing joke about Madonna, comments that I made about her months ago. And but in the Grammys recently, for the first time, not just the Christian wing, but just normal people were kind of upset with the Sam Smith performance. They were calling it demonic and ritualistic and all these other things. So we've had a lot of crazy stuff going on in the pop culture world that we haven't had recently. Of course, the slap heard around the world. The Will Smith, Chris Rock slap. That was probably the craziest thing anybody's ever saw. We didn't know if it was real, if it was planned or whatever, and I think people still don't know. That was one of the bigger stories that we had too going on. We got a lot of fun with that one. Is there any particular pop culture story that sticks with you that we've done over the last 100 episodes here? Because we have some good stuff.
Yeah,
There's
man.
been a lot.
Well, you put me on the spot here.
Well, one of the things I like is the list that you come up with. We always do like our top 5. We've been in a lot of top 5 lists. Are there any of your lists that you remember more than others?
No.
No, he doesn't remember anything at all.
Good answer. I like that.
Well, one of my favorites.
about it. Let me think about
I tell you what I remember. I love.
Yeah.
We did our top 5 female vocalists of all time, and I got that because I
did.
saw it on Family Feud, and I was highly upset with that top 5. We being like, I don't want to say old school, but
Right.
we recognize those that came before you start putting Beyonce's and all these other young ditties on top. We recognize Aretha, and singers like that. So that was a fun list for me, and we got to talk about a little history right there.
I don't want to. I'm sorry. When it
Go
comes to mind, just when we go really old school, we talked about some of our favorite weird cartoons of all time. We talked about that. We talked about
Hanna-Barbera was a good was
Sid
the
Marty
favorite
Krofft
cartoon.
shows
Yes.
and stuff like that. So we get into that type of stuff a lot.
Yeah.
So that's right. I like that stuff a lot.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's nostalgic when you talk about those things. It takes you back to a simpler time in your life. Getting up on a Saturday morning, getting a bowl of cereal that was way too big for your belly, and getting in front of a TV and watching, Wonder Bug, Electro Woman and Diana Girl, Lost, Land of the Lost, some of the great cartoons, Laugh Olympics, all those great things. That was a great time for me. I live for those mornings, and we got to get together and just watch all that stuff one time. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I bought some of those box sets, and so I have like Johnny Quest, Thundar the Barbarian,
Great stuff.
Super Friends, some of those, and it was last Sunday. Made breakfast, sat down, watched some Johnny Quest.
Awesome.
Just takes you back to that time, like you
Yeah.
said, that simpler time. So, yeah.
And who can forget Schoolhouse Rock?
Oh, yeah.
Not only fun to sing, but you learn stuff.
Yeah, they just celebrated. Actually, they had It was the 50th anniversary of the debut of Schoolhouse Rock. Ryan Seacrest hosted it, and they had like sing-alongs and stuff like that. This just happened within the last few weeks or so ago, month or so ago.
Wow,
something like that. 50 years.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so I cover sports and music, and there's always stuff going on in that area. Big stories. We've lost some great artists over the last couple of years or so. We've had so many controversial things happening. Most recent, I believe, would be maybe Dean Hamlin, the guy that practically died on the field for the Buffalo Bills. And that's still controversial right now.
Damar Hamlin,
I'm sorry. And he's, he was at the Super Bowl taking pictures and hugging. And there's all this controversy that it wasn't him.
Yep.
And, some of the things they said, well, the tattoo was missing from his neck and all this other stuff. I don't know. And I looked at that picture very, very close. And if you zoom in, you can see a partial of that tattoo. So I don't know if somebody covered that up just to try to start some controversy or what. I don't know. But people love to start stuff. So we try not to get too much of the media crap and just kind of look at stuff for what it is. But sports and music has been fun for me to cover, me being a musician. It gives me, I guess, a little bit of extra insight to some other things that are happening, playing with Rock Generation. I want to say hi to Guy, hi to Pat, hi to Curly Heston. I love you guys. To my boys in Mixed Nuts, Chuck, Postal Weight, Jerry Eakin, and my boy Kevin, who I had so much fun with his grandkids at our last show. And I just want to say, love you guys too. What?
Al Diamond Phillips, thank you for the congratulations.
I was just about to go to the Diamond Phillips band. Al Diamond Phillips is one of my favorite people on earth. I love you, my brother. That band just gives me so much respect and love. It's not even funny. They never let me carry anything. And Al and his kids are just so supportive, and his wonderful wife. Really, really love those guys and miss them. So, Mr. Diamond Phillips Band. I also want to say hello to the House of Restoration, my heart, my church, my family. We had a great day out the park yesterday. We fed about 40 homeless people.
Saw that.
Yeah, it was just an amazing day. And those guys, I can't say thank you enough to. All right, so we got some top lists we're going to get into.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe so.
Maybe so. What you got for us, Fish?
Well, I do have a few. Let's see here. I got a couple pop culture stories. I'll get into some lists.
Okay. So you want to comment on his stories and the list that we do? We're going to read them on the air, so help yourself.
Yeah.
And no, Steeler Jim, we're not talking about the Steelers tonight.
Yes, we are, Jim. Yes, we are. We are. Go Steelers.
Well, normally what we do is we get into a little bit of a Gen X recommendation. So we just talk about stuff. Stuff that we watched over the last since the last episode. That it could be something you listen to, music, movies, whatever, TV shows, whatever. So do you have anything you wish to recommend to our? We think we're up to 426,000 viewers already. That's pretty awesome.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, we've had people jumping in and out. We appreciate everybody, all our fans out there.
Bangladesh. How are you? Bangladesh.
Family and friends that are so supportive of us. We can't appreciate that enough.
Pretty amazing. Wow.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So all time zones around the world tuning in right now. Yeah.
Awesome.
So have you seen anything, Keith, you wish to recommend?
Normally I have like one thing. It's been an extraordinary 2 weeks for me. I've seen some amazing stuff. And I say 2 weeks because last week we were supposed to do this. And we had a little bit of a medical emergency. So thank you all for hanging in there. But I saw some cool stuff the last week. I always try to find a show on some of these streaming channels that I've maybe ignored when it came out and give it a chance to see if it's something good to binge watch. And every now and then I'll find a gem. Like, this is really, really good. I just discovered 24 recently. Everybody told me about that show years ago. So anyway.
Like 20 years ago?
Yeah, well, shut up. Anyway. So on Hulu, I watched The Three Musketeers. Now, that's a story most of us, especially guys, grew up with. We made us feel, macho, great story, swashbuckling, all that stuff. They do this show so excellent,
it's a series.
Yeah, it's a series on Hulu, and it's done so well, and it does the story right, because people always want to include D'Artagnan in The Three Musketeers. That makes four,
right.
orthos. I can't think of their names at the moment, but there's
Orthos, orthopedo, orthopedic,
provost. Yes,
something like that. Yeah,
porcelain.
anyway.
But anyway, the story is really excellent. The action is unbelievable, and it is just a cool show. So in a world where we got all this sci-fi and everybody can fly and lasers out your eyes, it's kind of good to go backwards, and watch fighting with swords, things like that. You take a shot, give me a minute. I gotta put some gunpowder in here, and but it's a great show. So I recommend Three Musketeers on Hulu.
Okay.
Also, while we're talking about Hulu, I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago, the show The Orville came out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those CW shows, I think.
Yeah, it was like a CW show.
Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane put the show together. He blatantly and not shamelessly ripped off of Star Trek and all that other stuff. And it was kind of a humorous show, a little bit.
That was on Fox.
It was Fox. So as the show went on, it just kind of got a little more serious, but with some humorous overtones. And people were shocked at how good the actual show was put together. And had 2 great seasons, and it disappeared. And then COVID happened and all this other stuff. And the news came out that Hulu was going to pick it up. And it's been a few years. I mean, nobody's heard anything. Well, season 3 came out in the summer of last year. I didn't even know. And I'm telling you, it is absolutely extraordinary. Yeah,
I've never watched it.
You will be surprised how good the show is and how well done it's put together. So I recommend that one. And also a movie I saw on Netflix the other night that was just, Viola Davis, one of my favorite actresses of all time, A Woman King. It is a beautiful story about a tribe in Africa who are involved in doing business with another tribe who trade slaves or whatever. And the king has a kind of like Black Panther a little bit, but more realistic. Right. He has a special king's guard made up of all women. And Viola Davis is the leader of that guard. And I'm telling you what, just an extraordinary movie, man.
I have that on my save for later list, actually.
Yeah,
I did see that. I just
I
haven't
would
had a
say
chance.
watch it. I had a 4th one, but we'll get to that. Let somebody else talk.
Okay.
All
Skinner,
right.
you see anything?
So I watched The Founder. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I think I have. I haven't watched it yet.
It is the story about McDonald's and how they came about.
Oh, with
Hi, Donovan.
Oh no, that's a different movie. This is a documentary or something.
This is the movie with Michael Keaton in it.
Okay, so it was Michael.
Yeah.
The Ray Kroc story.
Ray Kroc story, right?
Oh yeah.
And
he's basically ripped them off. Didn't
I
he?
put Ray Kroc's kid through college.
you had the 2 gentlemen. I don't want to ruin the storyline because it's a great movie, but it makes me second guess whether I want to partake in McDonald's dinner or meal ever again.
I can tell you that, don't.
Well, you've got your health, and the health. The food's not healthy or this, that, or
Right.
other. Take that aside.
Take that aside, okay.
What Ray Kroc did to the McDonald brothers really makes me want to. I've not ate there since I watched the show, and I've watched it a couple months ago, and I just. So yeah, I'd like for you guys to watch it, and then you give me your thoughts on it. Maybe we'll do a discussion on business. Maybe that'll be one of our topics later on down the road.
That'll be great.
It's called The Founder. It's on Netflix. And it's Michael Keaton played an excellent role as Ray Kroc, but again, I don't know if I'll ever visit McDonald's ever again for it.
Hey, my son, Steel Rain Porter, I love you so much. To his fiance, Amber AP, soon to be. Love you guys. Fish mentioned earlier his lovely daughter Peyton did the artwork. We are so proud to have our kids have been a part of this from the beginning. I mentioned Steele was our second guest on Reality Football.
That's right.
And even Coach Cooper, his son, and we want to definitely say a shout out to Remington Cooper.
He was our producer.
He produced our show the whole football season. Outstanding, 2 seasons actually, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Outstanding work with him. And of course, our podcast producer, Michael Skinner Jr. We got to say hey to the boss. We love you, man.
He's been with us since episode 1 of GenX.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So what have you seen, Fish?
So a couple things here. Now, one I watched was the Bill Russell documentary on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So that's new. It's just 2 episodes. Just dropped recently, like an hour and a half each. Incredible story. I mean, what the man had to tolerate.
Oh, can you imagine?
like I said, we talked about it on Convincing Idiots this week too. But it's like, it's the equivalent. What I said on that show, it's like the equivalent of Michael Jordan in Chicago having to tolerate ridiculous racism from, you know what I mean? It's that level of athlete. Whatever it is. Even then, some back then.
Yeah.
In the town of Boston, to have to tolerate what he and his family had to tolerate. Yeah. Meanwhile, the guy won 11 championships and 11 out of 12.
No, that was 13.
Anyway, just
ridiculous
amount. It's insane. So it has a different respect for the man after watching that. So definitely check out the Bill Russell documentary.
I'm going to comment on that for your next one.
Please,
but first I want to say hi to Rufus Malone, one of the greatest comedians ever come out of the Cleveland area. He plays Fred Sanford in the Sanford and Son play. Mm-hmm. What's up, Pops? Of course, I'll be playing Lamont again for the third time coming up in May. So come check out Sanford and Son at La Pizzeria down in Canton. So, hey, Rufus, you know, you make a good point. When people start always getting into this conversation about who's the greatest, they never take into account the mental stability that maybe a Bill Russell had to have when people were emboldened with racism. You know, not like today where you say something and cancel culture will get you, you know, or just good people will stop you, you know. But you could just say what you want. The N-word was flying, expletives were flying, and your family was being threatened, you were being threatened, and to focus enough to dominate like he did.
All he did is went out and won championships.
Yeah, unbelievable, you know. So I put him right up there with anybody. You talk about the greatest. There's always this LeBron and Michael thing, and I think that's ridiculous. Why are you leaving out Kobe? Why are you leaving out Kareem? And why are you leaving out the great Bill Russell?
That's right.
Then you can get Larry Bird. You can get Shaquille O'Neal.
If Bird's back didn't get bad, I think he'd be in that conversation.
David Robinson is another. I mean, you can go on. There's different athletes, especially in basketball, over different eras.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
That they were all that person during that time. They are all equal in my eyes.
Awesome. All right. You got another one for us, Fish?
Yeah, pretty made. And then there's a new movie just dropped on. It was from 2014. It's new to Netflix. This Is Where I Leave You. It's one of the top streamed movies on Netflix right now.
Sounds like both my marriages. But go ahead.
Jason Bateman, Tina Fey,
Mm-hmm.
Jane Fonda was in this. So the idea is their father passed away, and they're siblings, and they come back to stay with mom, and they have to kind of work through some stuff. Very good movie. So check that out. I thought it was a recent movie. It was from 2014, but definitely worth a look. And last Saturday, so this is making a lot of news right now. So Netflix streamed live for the first time. Chris Rock had a special on Saturday night. So it's Selective Outrage. Now they immediately put it on there as on demand. So I didn't see it live, but I watched it on demand yesterday. It's about an hour.
Wow.
And one thing that's advertised is he's going to talk about the Will Smith thing. Is he really going to talk about it or not? So he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He teased it a little bit throughout the episode. But I want to tell you what, the last 10 minutes,
you let it fly, huh?
He let it fly. And if you're wondering at all what Chris Rock thinks of that, watch that special. He puts it all on.
I'll bet he does.
He is upset.
People will watch that just to be interested to see what he says.
Absolutely. So if you watch any part, the whole special's good.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Rock, he was on his game on this special. I like him anyway. He's funny. But,
Guess what I found?
What's that?
I got a John Cooper sighting here.
Really?
Yeah, he says, Keith, you look very handsome tonight. The rest of the guys need some help. And then he says
I'm sure that's what he said.
He said he's up past his bedtime. You better start getting funny soon. Look here, old man. Drink some coffee, but you stay up and watch this show. Your fault.
Yes, so check that out. Chris Rock, Selective Outrage.
Okay.
For sure. Very interesting stuff.
All right, that's some good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. You guys probably doing some lists?
Sure, why not?
All right. So you're welcome to join in with us and give your opinions as well. We're going to do some fun top 5 lists. And I know you got some stuff ready for us, but how about we do 1 or 2 just off the fly?
Sure.
See what happens. All right.
Great. Put us on the spot.
If you got a suggestion, send it to us. Top 5. Could be top 5 anything.
Good Lord. All right. I'm going to start off with
what's your
a
favorite biscuit? No,
Yeah, no kidding. What's your favorite blooper? No. Just because I had it prepared, and I'm still going to prepare. Let's do our top 3 superhero movies of all time.
Okay, I said top 5. He goes top 3. Maybe you look stupid.
We'll do 3. We'll do
We'll
quick
do 3.
because Fish's got a couple that we can go through.
That's fine.
But you give me your top 3 superhero movies of all time.
That is easy. I can't do 3. I have to do 4. Okay.
Then
I
do
have
4.
to go Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. They were epic. They were amazing. Nothing else to say
So
about
is that
it.
1 and 1A, or is that
No, that's 3A and 3B.
okay?
Okay. Number 2 has to be the first Iron Man. I think it was the first character that really was brought to life from the comic book. The amazing job that Downey did with that character speaks for himself. It was exciting. Everything was just perfect in that movie. The soundtrack, the action, I think that really kicked off the Marvel phases better than any other movie did. And I would be remiss if I did not pick number 1. Black Panther was something like we had never seen. As a black person, I was appreciative of how black people were presented in this video, and it was just something to see. Chadwick Boseman, the late great Chadwick Boseman, nailed that character.
Oh, he did.
There was a sense of tradition in it. There was a sense of coolness in it. You know, when they walked and meet each other like that, it was just something to make you feel good about watching that. The technology was amazing. And it will always be one of my favorite. And, you know, gosh, black people just kind of came out in droves to support this movie. And really, some of them didn't even know who Black Panther was. But it was kind of this unity thing going on through social media. And I thought that was cool. And unified all of us, you know. So I thought that was my favorite.
Very good. Fish?
I had a similar list. I mean, like you said, the Avengers movies, just...
All 3 of them were dynamite.
Yeah, just...
And I could have put Civil War in there. All that was great.
Yeah, the last 2 Avengers movies, like you say, fantastic. Some of the scenes in there, just the battle scenes, Thanos, Captain America with Mjolnir. There's so many scenes to name in those. I'm with you on the first Iron Man. I mean, that's the movie, like you said, kicked off the Marvel Universe, and Robert Downey Jr. was just too perfect.
Amazing. Yeah.
Too perfect. So, 3 seconds into that movie, him in the car, I'm like, I'm going to love this movie. You know?
Yeah, and the
Everybody
Humvee.
says, why you make a movie about Iron Man? Is it an interesting character? And you're like, yeah, I get that, but it's Robert Downey Jr. I'm going to give it a shot. And I'm like, yep, I'm sold. I'm in.
He's somebody we grew up with.
Absolutely.
Gen X culture, yeah.
And you see, if that movie fails, that universe may not be what it
May not be what it is, yep.
But maybe it's more just, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Spider-Man was always my superhero growing up.
Yeah.
My main hero. The first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, that movie there, the Sam Raimi first Spider-Man movie, I haven't watched it in a while. It may not hold up that good. I don't know. But at the time, those movies were sort of the groundwork to lead up to the Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it was perfect. Sam Raimi is a huge Spider-Man fan, and it was very true to the comics.
We went and saw those opening day.
Yeah, we
You and
sure
I
did. Yeah.
All the original Spider-Mans.
So I thought
Toby.
I just thought that was great, and then Black Panther was awesome. I also really loved the last Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, when they brought the 3 Spider-Men together and kind of laid everything
Good
together.
stuff.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Plenty more
Hey,
than
quick
that.
shout out to Pastor Mary Harris from the Gates of Praise Worship Center right here in Kenmore on Florida. I love you. Thank you so much. Bishop Harris, I love you. Thank you for watching. Dean said 1986 Howard the Duck.
You know what?
Was he alive?
Dean
in
needs
that?
some
Was
help.
Dina? Was
No, he
he
was
born?
not even born then.
No, he was born at. He legit loves that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Why am I not surprised?
You know what? Actually, that's a good question. That's a good.
That's
lead
pretty
in.
good.
Okay, because also in we do some, this week at pop culture. We do pop culture history, as well, right? So, late February in 2005, Halle Berry accepted a Razzie in person, which was kind of cool that she did this. So the Razzies are like an award show to kind of mock the Oscars. They celebrate bad movies. Okay, she showed up to personally accept the award for her role in Catwoman. Okay.
Wow.
All right. So
worst movie ever.
Well, now we're talking. What are some of your favorite superhero movies?
Right.
Dean mentioned Howard the Duck. So what are your top 3, 5?
Well, he's got to go, right? You didn't do yours, did you?
No, you skipped me, but that's
Oh, I did.
Yeah, go ahead. Do your top
Do yours
3,
first. Do yours first. Then we'll do the worst superhero movies. I
worst
apologize.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But anyway, so we got the no, go ahead, please.
So my number 3, you can go. My number 1 is solid, but you can go number 2, number 3. The Dark Knight series with Heath Ledger as the Joker.
Yes.
That movie,
yeah.
even seeing it as many times as I have, I still get goosebumps.
See, it's hard to make a list when you bring that up too.
When you watch Heath Ledger, the guy was absolutely brilliant in that movie.
Almost too
It was
brilliant.
a different type of Batman that we weren't used to, and then you've got Heath Ledger that just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
My number 2.
I just watched that 2 weeks ago, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm still love it.
like I said, it's phenomenal.
Because too many movies made the Joker silly.
Right.
And in the comic books, the Joker was psychotic.
Right.
And Heath Ledger brought that to life.
He brought psychotic to a new level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 2 would be the Superman with the original Supermans with
Christopher
Reeves.
Okay.
The original one. Go back to 1970. I think the first one was 1976.
77,
Maybe Dean
I
will
think.
remember 77.
77, 78.
That one was a pretty phenomenal before its time movie. And then my number 1 of all time, you can ask me what my number 1 Marvel movie or my number 1 movie of any superhero, and that's Iron Man. The original Iron Man. There's nothing like it.
Can't go wrong there.
The graphics, the special effects, Downey
man.
Jr.
That's what makes the movie. Just Downey. It's like
But even then, Jeff Bridges played a hell of a role.
He sure did. He was a great bad guy.
Yeah.
You know, what's her name that plays Piper? I forget the blonde. I forget what her name is. Anyway, those characters and they casted those characters absolutely perfect for that movie.
And how about Favreau? He plays the role. Right? He directs the movies too, man.
Right.
I
He
love
did a
him.
double. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, as a matter of fact, my daughter Ashley and neighbor Rachel was watching Iron Man. I looked at it for 2 seconds and I said, "Iron Man 1, huh?" I mean, you just know it's just that kind of movie.
No Coop, no Deadpool. Sorry, man.
Deadpool. Now, the first Deadpool was funny.
No, it was not.
If you don't go to see that movie to be a superhero movie, it's absolutely hilarious. So I agree with Coop. That's a pretty good one.
Nobody agrees with Coop.
Dean says Sam Raimi's Spider-Man doesn't hold. What does he say there? Doesn't hold up. It's dog shit.
Hey, language.
That's what Dean's saying. And it was 1978. He's corrected me on this original Superman.
Amy says Venom.
What's that beep?
Amy's getting a little crazy around here.
Somebody's beeping over there.
His heart monitor.
Yeah, but heart monitor went off.
Life alert.
Yes. So remember that episode.
No, there's no emergency. I'm fine.
Remember that episode with your Alexa went
Yeah,
off? in the
Alexa
middle
went
of the
off to take your something pill or
Yeah.
something. Yes, we remember that one. Alexa went off in the background, reminding me to take my pills. I was like, we're getting old.
Right in the middle of the show.
And all I could think was, thank goodness it wasn't something like, Alexa, remember to take your Viagra, something silly like that. But I don't take Viagra. I'm just saying.
The entertainment level's fallen and it can't get up.
Can't get up. Okay, now you got a new list.
Sorry, I apologize.
That's
sir.
all right.
Yes, so let's flip the table. What are some of your least favorite superhero movies after Halle Berry?
Okay.
Catwoman could be one of them.
Catwoman is one of them for me.
Catwoman
I never
was
saw
terrible.
it.
was-
You take an Oscar-winning actress and put garbage together like that. The outfit was silly.
Yeah, this is
the role she played was ridiculous. I couldn't watch more than 20 minutes of it. I've never seen the whole movie. That's how bad it was.
One for me is Incredible Hulk.
Which one?
The first.
No.
The first one was
The first
terrible.
one, yeah.
Well, my number 2 is Deadpool. I just, the way he played that character in the Wolverine movie, I thought was great. It was just too over the top. He kind of was like a Jim Carrey to me. Just too over the top. It was too much. Dial it back a little bit. So I just didn't enjoy it as much as a lot of people did. And if I had to pick 3, oh my gosh. Well, that's not Marvel, but
It's okay. Any.
the Batmans with George Clooney and
Batman and Robin.
all that silly stuff. Yeah, like this big colorized piece of garbage. I thought that stuff was absolutely silly and corny.
Yep.
So those are my 3.
Okay. Skinner.
Again, Hulk, the Incredible Hulk. The first one was terrible.
The Ang Lee one.
Yeah, the Ang Lee one.
Yep.
The one, Jennifer Garner was
Elektra.
and
Daredevil.
Daredevil. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Daredevil.
Those
movie.
movies were freaking awful.
Yeah, those were.
Daredevil.
Those were bad.
You guys keep telling me to watch Daredevil series on Netflix.
The best.
Yes.
The best ever.
And I cannot get myself to watch
2 different
it.
things. 2 different things. About
I'm gonna go because you guys keep saying that, but the bad taste in my mouth from Daredevil with
you do that, and I'll watch Raiders of the Lost Ark for the first time.
Okay,
And I make a deal with you.
that's just shameful.
I'm going to watch it. It's on my list.
You've been saying that for how long now?
I give you my word. I'm going to watch it this week.
Okay.
All right.
We want a critique on the movie.
Absolutely. What you got? This.
Oh man, there's so many bad ones out there. The one that was really
Outro.
I don't know if you remember this or not, but Dolph Lundgren played the Punisher. You ever see that one?
Say it again. Sorry.
It was a Punisher movie.
Yeah.
Dolph Lundgren.
It wasn't bad.
I didn't see that.
Dolph
one.
Lundgren played the Punisher, but they did not even have the skull.
Yeah, it was what made it bad, right?
Just not well done. I am not a fan at all of the Batman versus Superman. That had so much potential.
I love that movie.
It was.
I watched it the first time, and I was so disgusted with it. And I said, let me watch this again. And I watched it with a different perspective, and I learned to appreciate it a lot more. But I felt the same way at first.
So
Watch it again. Pastor Mary Harris, yeah, I thought The Rock did a great job in Black Adam. I thought the movie was good. It's kind of hard to be impressive right now with all the other stuff that's come out already.
Yeah.
So I thought they did a really good job with that. Of course, probably like you, I didn't like the demonic stuff towards the end, but that is a character in the book. But I thought The Rock did a great job with that.
And then it's almost a tie, but in the X-Men trilogies, the Fox ones years back, and then they rebooted the franchise. The first 2 in both those, terrific. If you've not watched the original X-Men movies and the reboot, watch those 2. The third one in both of those, both equally terrible.
Yeah. We've talked a lot on this show how Sony has tried, DC has tried. No one seems to have the formula like Marvel does.
Yeah.
Marvel has bought the rights to some of the Sony stuff, like the X-Men and Fantastic Four, so they're going to get rebooted and hopefully be a lot better movies.
Stop all the Sony movies.
Yeah, stop all together.
Stop all of them.
Please.
The Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield was awesome. I love him in the role. Those were awful, awful Spider-Man movies. Terrible. And then all these other ones, I have no interest.
Okay. All right, guys, so we're doing a lot of pop culture stuff tonight. I got a list for you.
Okay.
And we can comment on the ones I want, or you can come up with some of your own. I thought we could talk about favorite movies based on books, and I'd love to hear what you guys think. I think without question, the number one movie series for me based on books is The Godfather. Mario Puzo's The Godfather. It was an extraordinary look into the rise of the Italian mafia And there's a show on, I think HBO Max. Can't think of the name of it, but it talks about what he went through trying to get that movie. I mean, the mob didn't want it done. They didn't want their stuff exposed. There was a lot of stuff went into that. But that series is outstanding. It is real. And some of the stuff they kind of invented that the mob took from them. I heard mobsters talk about how they got stuff from The Godfather. They acted it out in real life. But it's just an extraordinary series to me. It is one of my favorites. I watch it all the time. And I think it's just amazing. Godfather fan?
Yes. I've watched them as a kid. I have not revisited them in a long time. But I agree with you. The movies, I'm fascinated with the Italian Mafia to begin with. I've watched the Goodfellas and I've watched the Casinos with Joe Pesci was in that. He was also in Goodfellas. I've watched all those movies and there's nothing like The Godfather. I mean, there's just the fact that I've read one of the books and how true they were to the book was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
To the movies. You don't see that even to this day. The books, they always say the books are always 100 times better than the movies, and then Godfather was very close to the book.
I hate when people say that. That's ridiculous.
It's true. I mean, it's
a
true
movie
though.
is your imagination come to life. Books are great.
But you got a 300-page book that you're trying to put into a movie that's an hour and a half. It's impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible to do that. As far as information, books are better.
Yeah.
But I'll read the book, but I'll take the movie too over a book anytime. Music, effects, all these different things that enhance the experience.
Yeah.
So, Fish, Godfather fan?
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't watch that movie until way too late. So finally, just even within the last 5 years or so, I finally sat down over Christmas break and.
I remember when you said that. I finally watched The Godfather, and we all dropped our mouths.
Yeah, where you been, dude?
Yeah, so I watched the whole trilogy. It was
Yeah, the third one gets a lot of flack, but even my sister Pam mentioned the other day, I don't know why it's great. I think it's outstanding. I don't know where else they could have went with this story. In his older age, the ending was amazing. He of all the loss that he's caused other people, he loses what's dearest to him in the end. And when he lets out that scream, but nothing comes out, the commentary was he let out a cry that not even God would hear. Because of all the dirt he's done. Just totally amazing ending. I thought it was very powerful. So those are my biggest. Okay, guys. One more here, and if you guys got something that I'll let you guys go. But obviously, a lot of the sci-fi stuff came from books. And before all this other stuff's been out, there was nothing like the Lord of the Rings trilogy when it came out. I decided to watch it, me and my first wife, Robin, night after night after night, so we don't lose, what's going on in perspective. And if you do it that way, it was a whole nother experience. I thought it was one of the most incredible things ever put together. You look at the costumes and the scenery and everything, utterly amazing. Lord of the Rings fan?
Never seen 1 minute of the movies.
Don't ever say anything to me about Raiders of the Lost freaking Ark.
We've talked about it. Those movies came out in the early 2000s, where I was the only one working out of the home with all the kids.
So what? Beethoven came out hundreds of years ago, but you still listen to it.
And that sounds like an excuse, I understand, but I just
that's what it is.
I had no time to watch the movies, and then you've got 3 hour or 12 hours of movies. There was just no way for me to put that in there. Someday I'm going to watch them.
Stop making babies.
Because I know they've had The Hobbit, and there's been a couple others. Oh, the baby making is long gone. Yeah. Now it's the grandkids. Right. We can't stay coming.
Okay. Fish, how about you?
I'm thinking of some of the Stephen King ones. How about the Shining?
I was young when I watched that. And,
still one of my favorite horror movies to this day.
Yeah, I don't watch horror movies anymore, but I definitely remember watching that one. If that didn't shake you up, I don't know what would.
Yeah. And Misery for his, that's way
Misery is extraordinary.
Yeah.
The great Kathy Bates was in that movie.
James
Caan from Godfather.
Caan. Oh, man.
And that was a story different,
Yeah.
Some old lady got you captive. because she's a fan.
Yeah, that movie had me. I watched that recently. I hadn't seen that movie in years, but it's equally as uneasy almost because you say you are in that bed with James Caan stuck, and you feel that anxiousness and that anxiety with him. It's super well done.
It took me a long time to watch Kathy Bates and anything else after
scary.
watching.
I believe it.
That
She
woman
did an amazing job.
did an absolute. That's probably the best role I've ever seen from a female lead. Probably even still
Academy
to this
Awards,
day.
I think, for her and James Caan, I think.
She was absolutely incredible. Now, I've seen her in a lot of stuff, both good and bad since then. She makes me laugh in a lot of movies, but that movie, in The Misery, I was scared of that woman for a long time as a kid.
Now, you talked about how that movie made you feel uneasy. I think one of the biggest movies that came from a book that made everybody feel uneasy for years was Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, yeah.
When you think of all the horrific things that can happen to a person, being eaten by someone, wow. And of course the role that he played in that movie was just like, wow, Anthony Perkins, just utterly amazing. Anthony Hopkins. Yeah, Anthony Perkins is another.
Yeah.
But anyway, that movie was crazy. Some of the greatest lines ever came out of that. Eat his liver. With fava beans and a nice Chianti and all that other stuff. But that movie was really, really freaky.
Was it Foster?
Absolutely. Remember watching that one?
Yeah, we talked about this just 2 weeks ago when you and I did the show because it came out around this time in 1991. So it's crazy.
Dean says the Jaws movie is a masterpiece. The book was terrible.
He's right.
He's probably right. The movie was a masterpiece. And
there's a lot of movies that fits that category as well. The book may not have been so good, but the movie was a lot better.
And Coach Cooper says the Wonder Woman Halloween special at the Windsor Pub. I think that was his parting shot because I think he might be in bed now.
Yeah. Oh, I got one here for you guys.
Okay.
So last week, the rock band Kiss was on Howard Stern. They performed an interview there, but they announced their final...
Oh, stop.
Well, their final 2 shows are going to be December 1st and 2nd at Madison Square Garden.
Sure.
They may do a touring.
They've done their final shows for the last 25 years.
Well, they say this is the end, but it got me thinking, just in general. Now, I think we've all seen Kiss over the years, but I'm interested to hear... between the 3 of us, we've seen a lot of concerts.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of your top concerts that you've seen of all time? Does Kiss make the list or not? Could be anybody, any era, any type of music.
I'm going to go with the first one I ever went to in my life.
Go ahead.
And I'll bet you dollars to donuts, you guys aren't going to have a clue who I'm talking about. But when I was a kid...
That's an old.
That's an old phrase.
It's a drinking game, by the way. If you hear any phrase that makes it sound like we're
we're sticking the old fuss budget.
Take
dollars to donuts.
Yes, take a drink.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, I know you guys aren't going to have a clue what I'm talking about, but when I was a kid, my mom took us to the merry-go-round. You remember that in Akron, to see Walter Hawkins and the Hawkins family, legends in the gospel community. Walter Hawkins passed away a few years ago. Was it the merry-go-round, wasn't it?
Or was it Playhouse Square?
No, merry-go-round in Akron. Pretty sure it's a merry-go-round. If you're listening, you know what I'm talking about. Chime in. But it was just an amazing
Carousel
show.
Theater.
Was it the dinner?
I
the
thought
carousel
it was the merry-go-round.
The carousel dinner theater?
Carousel? Okay, maybe it was. I thought it was merry-go-round.
We go to the clothing store, Rolling Acres Mall.
I think it's the merry-go-round, but I'll go with carousel.
I know it was a carousel dinner theater.
But anyway, I saw the Hawkins family. It was the first time I ever been to a concert, and it was just utterly amazing. I grew up listening to that music. Still do some of the greatest songs ever. That was my first. And I'll never forget the first rock concert that I went to. I had never been in such a crowd with so many people and heard music so loud. That was Rat and Poison opened up for them. That was my first experience. I was 18 years old. So that experience was unbelievable. And that's when I got bit by the band bug. I wanted to be on stage front of all those people. But the greatest concert I ever saw back then, I thought they were the greatest band that ever lived, was Queensryche when they did the Operation Mindcrime tour and acted out that album front to back. It was the greatest performance I'd ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I think it was the Empire tour, and they sang the entire Operation Mindcrime album.
Right. I think it was the Empire tour, wasn't it?
No.
So
this was the Mindcrime tour.
Okay.
They came out and did about 10 songs from, the earlier stuff. Prophecy, Queen of the Right, all that. Did about 10, like a whole show, and then left the stage, and then came back and did all of Mindcrime. So Empire hadn't been out yet.
Wow. Okay. Very good. Skinner?
Yeah, it's got two. First one that comes to mind, the greatest concerts of all time. I went and saw the Mistress for Christmas tour with AC/DC.
Guns N' Roses.
I was 16 years old. We went to the Richfield Coliseum.
Thunderstruck tour.
Yes. And it was the Mistress for Christmas album.
Was Thunderstruck?
Thunderstruck was...
That was on there, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Angus Young for 2.5 hours didn't sit still.
No.
That man, and he was in his mid-40s at that time.
That's what to do for you.
That man did not stop. And we were watching some videos the other night. We had lost a family member last week. Rest in peace, Bob.
Yes.
So Marcy knew I was going to be not wanting to watch TV because my go-to is music. I put on... Yeah, sorry. I know I'm hitting it. Music is my go-to when I'm sad, when I'm angry, when I'm frustrated. I just put music on and it gets me back where I need to be. And there was an old
Tasha Cobb.
It was an old AC/DC song came
Israel.
On, and sure enough, Marcy had never seen him on stage, and he's like, "Does that man not stand still?" I said, "Nope, not for 2.5 hours. He does not stand still." And up until probably 3-4 years ago, I would say that was my favorite concert of all time.
And they drink like fish. Yeah, it's amazing.
I've seen Brad Paisley half dozen times on the country scene. He puts on a phenomenal show.
I would love to see a country show one time. Country concert.
My favorite act of all time for country-wise, there's a Randy Houser's his name, and it's called Cowboys. His song, he did an acoustic by himself on stage. It was electric. Okay. It sent chills up your spine. So the individual song, it would be Like a Cowboy by Randy Houser, and then probably my favorite show of all time was Five Finger Death Punch. We saw it at Mansfield Prison.
Five Finger Death Punch, the greatest name ever
it
for a band.
They were headlining on Sunday night at the Incarceration Festival back in 2019, right before COVID.
He saw Jewel.
He saw Jewel.
Hey, Pam, thank you. My sister Pam chimed in. It was not the carousel. It was the front row.
The front row.
That's where it was. That girl never. Pam remembers being born. You know that doctor had on glasses. She doesn't forget anything. Thank you, Pam.
I remember. Okay.
So yeah. Oh, I forgot.
But to finish up,
I saw Israel at Bay Family Worship off of 77. That was amazing. Go ahead.
So yeah, to finish up, Marcy hadn't gotten much notice with Five Finger Death Punch. I introduced her to her prior to the show, and she even said, "These guys and the power that they put out is absolutely incredible."
Yeah, their remake of Bad Company.
Oh.
If the first 5 seconds don't grab you, I don't know what will. That is just an amazing voice in a remake. Yeah.
Rise of the Sun is another one of their covers that they did. But yeah, absolutely phenomenal.
All right.
You probably just witnessed, you're still watching, the only human that said that the best concert they ever saw in their entire life was Five Finger Death Punch.
Yes.
I think.
Maybe so.
Oh, yep. There you go. I got a few. Queensryche was up there for me.
Yes.
Now for us, we went to see, it was at the Coliseum, it was Suicidal Tendencies.
I was there.
And then it was Queensryche, but it was the Empire.
Yeah, I was there for that
tour.
One. That was not Empire.
Yes, it was. 100%.
It was not Empire.
Yes, it was.
It was not Empire.
We'll have to look it up.
Okay.
It was the Empire tour. They sang a few songs off of Empire. Jet City Woman, Silent the City, a couple other ones. And they surprised us with singing the entire Operation Mindcrime album, which maybe they advertised, or maybe they didn't. I don't know. But we were
You may be right. You may be right.
We didn't
I
expect it.
remember. Yeah.
We didn't expect it at all, and we were just like, whoa.
Because they did a whole show.
Yeah.
And then left the stage.
The video screen.
The screens came out, and you heard the doctors walking, the hospital opening, like on the album.
We were blown
People
away.
lost their mind. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great show.
I took a friend to that. He only went because he wanted to see suicidal tendencies. He's like, oh, the heck with Queen's right. He was bad-mouthing them. At the end of that show, he was sitting there in tears, and he looked at me and goes, I get it now. That's how amazing it was.
Oh, man.
They acted the whole thing out flawlessly, just like the concept album.
So good. So good.
Yeah. Hey, I don't want to go backwards.
Go ahead.
But we talked about movies based on book. I got to recommend one of the greatest movies I've ever saw that didn't get no traction at all, The Talented Mr. Ripley. If you haven't seen that movie with Matt Damon,
I have seen that one.
outstanding, unbelievable.
Okay.
All right, go. Are you done, Fish?
No. So, huge Kiss fan. We talked about Kiss here, so I have to give them just due. Saw them a few times in the 80s without makeup. Been a huge fan. But I went to go see the reunion show.
Which one?
Well, the first one.
The first one.
When you gotta say the first one, that should tell you something.
When they first came back, this was the first tour through Cleveland, and I was there with Cunningham, and he and I met because being mutual Kiss fans and all that.
And Cooper and
we went recently as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You were on the floor.
Yeah, I was on the floor.
Right. You went. We were this. I forgot. We didn't sit together, but. When they came out in the costumes and the thing and just on the big screen and all that, it was such a wave of emotion seeing them up there because I never thought as a child I would ever see it.
Yeah, because their whole thing was over.
It was over for years, and they talked about it for
kid.
years and years and years. And maybe they'll do it, maybe they won't do it, and this and that. That whole rush of emotion, and I'm there with a friend. With friends, I should say, being up there, mutual Kiss fans and everything, and I was just crying, smiling and crying. It was just a huge emotional thing, and it was a great show. They were
phenomenal
that first tour. They were all at the top of their game again at that point. So that was a great
that was
show.
the first year Skid Row opened up for them without Sebastian Bach.
Yeah, that's right.
Skid Row.
My very first concert, I'll throw one more in there. So it was a very sweet girl I was dating in high school at the time surprised me and took me to my first rock concert. My very first rock concert. She surprised me. The Richfield Coliseum. Walked in there, kept walking, kept guiding up there. She got us front row. I want to say it was like seats 1, 2. Right at the stage. It was Bad Company and Deep Purple at the time. It was the Deep Purple, the Blue Door, or whatever it was.
That's where you got your first STD, right? That's what you told me. No, I'm sorry.
No,
I thought that's what you told me. I'm sorry.
It was the second.
But that was just the experience of being that close to my very first show. And Deep Purple just blew it away. It was such a great experience.
Wow.
Anyway, so
awesome. Okay, I got a list.
Yes,
Keith, your favorite time? Keith's getting a high colonic.
that was one of the funniest stories of all the episodes.
It really was. Okay, so I'm gonna reveal some stuff here.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I wanted to
get a high colonic
about the hardest. Yeah,
years ago, way before we were together, and I got hooked up with this doctor over on Exchange Street. He was really, really old. He had his practice behind his house.
Should have been your first clue.
Yes, and if you don't know what a high colonic is, look it up.
Or look down.
Yeah, look down. And here I am laying there exposed with this old man trying to insert this hose, and it was not working. And this went on for quite a while. You know, after 20 minutes, this gets really old. And he said I had the smallest small intestine opening he'd ever seen. He had to give me my money back, and I left. Well, I made the stupid mistake of telling these morons that story.
No, wait. You said then you went somewhere else.
Oh, I'll get to that. I'll get to that.
All right.
I told them that story. Now, here we are recently, and I say, you know, it's been a while. I'm going to try it again. Technology's better. I'm going to give it another shot. And I got hooked up with this place down in Canton, this just beautiful place. You walk in, the smell, the music, the couches was great. And the lady had this apparatus that you get into and these machines. And she said, I guarantee you we're going to get this done. I've never failed yet, you know. And I'm like, okay. So
Keith said, hold my beer.
here we go. We get in, we all strapped up in there like I'm giving birth. And this went on for 45 minutes. And I'm like, look, lady, it ain't going to happen. So she charged me like half that. I let it go. Huh?
Didn't you go the same day? I thought it was the same day you went to two places.
No. She tried to send me to somewhere else.
Okay.
So I told these idiots about it, and I've never lived it down. The joke flew for a few months about that. So if you've got a high colonic, we'd like to hear your story, or tell us if you have. I still want to get one, but I am not going through that again. You know, 2 times a charm for me. You know, after, like I said, after a few minutes, that gets old real quick. Somebody rooting around.
Well, I'm sure they've come up with a fiber optic hose nowadays.
They haven't, man. This was just last year I tried this. Fiber optic hose. That was not fun.
Well, this show just will flush out the stress.
There it is.
You know,
Here come the jokes.
If you're experiencing some stress, you know, let us cleanse.
Keith Porter with the extra
your
small
stress.
booty hole. I
Yeah.
just don't get it.
I have a lot of pride in that, so whatever. It's my small intestine opening.
Oh yes, that's right. That opening.
High colonic is really good for you. It's really healthy for you. You know, I try to do as many healthy things as I can.
That's what she said.
Keep this body moving, and I wanted to get that done. So I don't see what's so funny about it.
Good. That's good.
We appreciate your efforts.
While you're talking funny show moments, any other funny show, whether it be on or off with us, whether we're around the show or not?
Wait, you got to talk about when we did the reality football, the Christmas episode.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was pretty freaking phenomenal. So, yeah, we're in my basement, which would happen to be our set for that whole rest of the first season and the entire second season. My brother-in-law David and his wife Mara was in town. It was during Christmas of, I think it was 19. It was right before COVID. And you were Uncle, or what was you? You were
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
And I made a white beard out of a piece of paper.
You were Santa Claus, and then the infamous Dinky showed up.
We had elf ears and a little hat and beard.
John Cooper, bless his heart, took over the role of Dinky. And I think we all peed ourselves from laughing. It was so funny.
Yeah, and the show opened up. Fish was playing the Run DMC Christmas song.
Yes,
that's right.
And Cooper's sitting there. He's so low. He looked like he was 3 feet tall, and he's doing this thing when the show opened, and we couldn't even speak. We were laughing so hard, you know. And we did a take off the old commercial where the elf was reading the list of gifts the kids wanted, and then the other elf was going, horse them, you know. So we were reading Christmas list from the Cleveland Browns, you know, and we were like, either horse them or give them to them. That was so much fun. That was one of my favorite episodes of all time.
That was a really good one.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun when we were together. One of my favorites was at the radio studio at WMBU.org when we had on Des the Reason, which is second part of our story. The radio station came to an end. We thank Gustavus Dominic so much and his contributions and his help. But then I get a message from Des the Reason, Desmond Jackson, from Canton, Ohio. Like I said, extraordinary talent. I've had the honor of performing with him. And he was like, hey, I am starting my own TV network. We're like, what? So he said he wanted to put our show on the network. We were shocked. We had a meeting with him online and talked. Boss Code Media, they got their own magazine. He's got a lot of artists signed to them. And we were supposed to get put on the news channel. And at the last minute, Des contacted us and said, hey, I'm going to give you your own channel. So we are on Boss Code Media, and we want to say thank you so much, Des. But before all that happened, Des came to the radio station and had to come on the show and do Cooper's Wheel of Death.
The Wheel of Death.
Cooper
Right.
made a spinny wheel with all these different things that if you hit it, you had to do what was on it. There was things like clip Keith's toenails or whatever. And Des was so scared to spin that wheel.
Ended up being an eating contest.
Eating contest. We had to eat tacos. Me against Des, which was pretty fun and filling. But that was a lot of fun. That was my favorite show. Fish, one of my favorites.
No, that was good. Oh, man. Just so many. I have a moment. Actually, this happened off cameras. This was just like last week. I just thought this was so funny. So we had Skinner's younger sister Teresa, her 50th birthday party. So surprise birthday party. So I still laugh about it. It was a legit speech on Skinner's where he gets up to toast his sister. Family, friends, your younger sister's 50th birthday party. He's like, well, thanks for everybody coming. It's a great thing. But first, I would like to, and he promotes the show.
Yes, I did.
Promoted the show. They make sure that you watch the live event. And everybody's kind of like, I'm thinking, wow, is he really doing this as a joke? Is he really doing this for real?
You were laughing so hard. I said, that's my boy. That's right. Priorities first. Wow.
Oh, my God.
My favorite moment, though.
That was funny. Yeah.
Was with our own coach, John Cooper. My dog of 13 years, B.O.S.S, passed away. And it was one of the hardest things ever for me. And Cooper had come over with shovels, helped me carry her down. I was so distraught, he actually shoveled the hole himself. We buried her. It was a rough moment for me. But a few weeks later on the show, we were talking, and in the middle of the show, I believe my nephew, Charles Bowman, was down in Canton. And it was a hard enough show because there was all this Dallas Cowboy crap everywhere. Coop says, hold on, I got something to give you. And he pulls out a plaque that he had made with the Steelers logo in it in wood and B.O.S.'s name in it for her grave. Totally caught me off guard. I was crying on the show. You can see that show on our page on YouTube. That was one of my favorite moments ever. He wanted me to have that. He knew I was hurting about my dog. And it was a surprise. I didn't know he was going to do this. That was a great moment for me.
That's pretty cool that he did.
Yeah. So, where are we going to go now, man?
I don't know.
Besides the bed.
Besides the bed, yeah, it's past my bedtime.
This man gets up like 5 o'clock in the morning.
If I'm lucky, I sleep
If you
until
look, yeah.
5.
Because I've sent you a couple texts and you were like,
Yeah, you're like, what the hell is he doing up already? Well, that's normal.
I don't sleep. That's too old.
100 episodes, we try to think back of all the stuff that we've covered and everything we've done. And I'm excited for the next 100, to be truthful.
Yes.
Some people, family members here, they're like, how do you continue to do this? I said, when you're with your two brothers that you see once a week, guaranteed, and we have fun.
It was easy. Yeah.
It's not a chore.
Yeah. We enjoyed this.
Absolutely not a chore. So I'd like to see us get out to a local event somewhere and do a live show there.
Mm-hmm.
We did that with the football show. We went to Missing Falls Brewery. Doesn't have to be a brewery or winery. Somewhere out there in the public, we'd like to try to do something. Maybe summertime, where the weather's nice, we could do it outdoors. We can get Michael in town from where he's right now in Baltimore, Maryland.
Yes.
Get him in there to produce the show while we're here.
We'll be in the parking lot of the Cuyahoga Falls High School.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, you guys have sent me there on a few football shows.
That was fun, too.
The roving Skinner,
that was
the
funny,
roving
the sign
reporter.
on the road. That was funny. It was Skinner. Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
But I'm excited for the next 100, and God only knows where we're going to go from there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the quality of the show improving. We all have a lot of stuff going on, and I know that if we didn't, the things we could really do with the show. So we're doing the best we can, but it's just getting better and better and better. We did it just for fun. The radio thing came up. Now the TV thing. Who knows where it's going to go? We get excellent video production from Brian Fisher here. We get excellent podcast production from Michael Skinner Jr. So I look forward to the show just getting better, the quality, and seeing what happens next. We learn as we go. We're not always perfect. We're not always funny. Sometimes we might get a fact wrong. We try our best to do our homework, but it gets better and better each time. So who knows where it's going to go?
Yeah, you mentioned it's like when you just a couple closing thoughts a little bit for me. Like some of your favorite moments, like I said, my mind just floods.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to pick specific moments because every week there's something funny. You know what I mean? I laugh every single week at something that we do. You know what I mean? So,
and it could be a different subject. It could be
That's
something
right.
that is in the world news, and I'll make a funny, or something that Porter will say makes it funny, or we'll make a joke at you. It's something different, and it's something different each week. Which
I've never said anything funny, but whatever.
No, yeah, we keep trying, but maybe that's one of the next 100 shows is that Keith Porter will be funny.
Well, for years, the three of us and then Cooper, we played, as we know, cards.
Yes, that was our get-together.
Those moments, and a lot of us at that time, I know I was, that was some tough times.
We were all had some personal stuff going on,
Tough times. And we would play cards for $10, and that was a lot of money.
We didn't care. That was our get-together.
But that was the thing. That's right.
Yes.
That was a way that we were together and blowing off some steam. And
watching
just
Monday Night Football.
That was always something, whatever you had going on in your life, like you say, we could look forward to and hanging out, and just made that day and that week a little bit easier. You know what I mean? So that's transcended to this, and hopefully it conveys to listeners and viewers out there. Like I say, we're self-taught. I mean, if it, it's just, we decided, and it started with you. I am going to put something out there, and everybody, you want to do something, you want to try something new. So many people, there's 1,000 reasons to keep putting something off and not doing something, whatever that is. Reading a book, watching a movie, exercise program, trying something new, a new hobby, you name it.
Yes.
People can tend to put it off because it's very easy to procrastinate and put it off. But you said one day, no, I want to do this. Let's do it. Showed up and did it. And that attitude started this whole thing. So, and that's it. We figured out by trial and error, how do we take a video on a phone and put it out here and share some,
and share
hopefully
with the
some
world.
entertainment
and not make
and
it look
laughter and
janky.
stuff like that. So,
and not make it look janky or
exactly.
so
unprofessional.
Janky, that's one of them words.
Janky, yes.
take a drink if you're still watching out there. Yeah.
Hey, I want to say real quick to our listening audience, if you're still there, please, if you have a moment, make a 20, 30-second video just congratulating us on our 100th episode. Send it to me. You can email it. You can put it in a messenger, text message, send it to the show's messenger. These guys, it doesn't matter. We want to put those and add them on the show and put them on our Facebook page. So please, say whatever you want to say, except for you, Dean. We got to put restrictions on you. And we really appreciate that. So.
Well, closing note, Joel says, thank you for my Monday night entertainment. So we're making somebody laugh at least once a week.
Joel, get a life.
And my closing thing is, if we made one person laugh that night that needed it,
and we appreciate you, Joel.
We did our job.
Yeah, we did our job. So we try to entertain, we try to inform, and promote some thought, and we've done that. Like I said, we always hadn't got along, but I've always learned from your opinion. It doesn't have to agree with me. So, been good, guys.
Yep. Congratulations on a
love you guys, man.
You too, man.
Appreciate it.
100 years,
Been
100
friends
episodes.
a long time.
Happy belated birthday again to my sister Teresa for her 50th. I just want to shout out Marcy, my better half, my fiance.
That's my girl.
That puts up with all my shenanigans.
So good.
She's there every Monday night with me, watching us do our thing.
Thank you for letting me smell your fiance too every now and then. I appreciate it. Thank you, Marcy.
You can't see, but behind Keith, there's a shirt that Marcy wore yesterday. Behind. Keith used it as a way to get.
That sounds really creepy. Marcy.
So, love you, Marcy. Thank you for putting up with all of us and our shenanigans.
Yes, and Allie, I know she's asleep by now. It's past her bedtime, but yeah, puts up with a lot with me and just talking about this. And I'm always editing something or doing this or doing that, and she just always super supportive.
She's awesome.
Thank you. I love you.
I'm single, so hey.
Not for a lack of trying, though.
I want to have
The dating app stuff. We didn't even talk about that.
either a separate episode or it could be a separate podcast in general of the dating app.
Trials and Tribulations of Keith
Interesting.
Porter.
And-
Oh, I
stories.
know. This
Yeah.
is right. It's out there somewhere.
Maybe she's out there.
She's out there.
Someone right now in Germany could be
Watching the
watching.
show. Yeah, that's right. If you like to
you
move
never
here,
know.
pay your own way.
Yeah. Mail order bride, perhaps.
Hey, I'm looking into it.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
So we'll see. We'll see.
One other quick shout out to Nick and Dean from Convincing Idiots, our
Love you guys.
brother podcast with
Yes.
Brian Fisher himself. We love you guys. Can't wait to do another combined episode. We need to do that here soon because
Yeah,
that was
definitely
an
gotta do
absolute
that.
blast.
That
I
was
don't
a
think
lot
I
of fun.
laughed so hard for a long period of time like we did with that
That's good.
episode.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
All right. I don't know what else to thank. It's been everybody.
To all our listeners, to all of our viewers, the 5 of you that are out there, to our family, to our friends, we love you. We thank you, and stay tuned for more episodes. Right?
More mayhem.
More shenanigans. We love you guys. Stay strong, Gen X.
Keith Porter here, aka Porterhouse from It Came From Gen X. We hope you've been enjoying the show, but please make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, here we go.
Hey, you like to listen to your dad's friends talk? Then you might like this. We don't know if it's good or not good. We're going to shoot it anyway. You damn kids better give us a like.
GenX.
That's right.
And these people are going to follow us to
Yeah.
the new page.
Yep. That's pretty good.
I love it.
All right, okay, well, I guess we'll do another take if you want to. Okay.
That's our new TikTok, right?